All right, for mulch math, we're calculating how much it costs per cubic yard. Actually, that's already given to us. It's $32 per cubic yard, and it's $45 delivery fee. So that's to get to your house. And on number one, we want to know how many cubic yards we need to fill the circular bed that's 2 inches deep and diameter of 20. All right, so all we need to do is convert. Notice that this is feet and this is in inches. So we need to get the same unit. So I'm going to convert, since I know I'm going to yards, I want to get my inches into feet because that's closer to yards. Yards are bigger than inches and bigger than feet. So we need to get inches into feet. That's my first step. So a quick way to do that is, if 2 inches is 2/12 of a foot, I'm going to show you how I calculated that. If I write down 2 inches, I'm going to write that over 1. And then if I want to calculate it into feet, how can I cancel inches? If I put it on the bottom, so 12 inches equals 1 foot. So inches cancel, and it's really multiply across. We have 2/12 or 1/6 of a foot. And now I'm going to write my units down. Or my dimensions down. I know that's inches deep. So that's the height of my cylinder. So that's my H equals 1/6 feet. I know my diameter is 20. That's D. And if my diameter is 20, my radius is half of my diameter, so it's 10 feet. So now I'm all into feet, and I need to find the volume, how much space it takes up. So this is a cylinder. If it's made up of a circle and then it has some depth to it, we're talking about a cylinder, aren't we? So a cylinder's volume formula is pi r squared, because that's the area of our base, the circle, times the height or the depth of it, so times h. So now I just plug in my units. So pi times, I'm going to use my radius, so 10 squared times 1/6. I'm going to type that all in my calculator, and when I do, I need to make sure that I put parentheses around my fraction. And then I'm going to get for my volume, it is going to be 52.4 feet cubed. All right, so I have my volume. That's a great start. But what did I want? Cubic yards. What do I have? Cubic feet. So now I need to convert. My next step is convert cubic feet into cubic yards. Because when you call the landscaping company, they need cubic yards. All right, so we just write down what we're given, or what we've calculated, 52.4 feet cubed, and I write that over 1. And I want to cancel it to convert it to yards. So what connects feet and yards? How about 3 feet equals 1 yard? Notice I put feet on the bottom, and that only cancels one of my feets here, because think of it like this. Feet cubed is really feet times feet times feet. So I have 3 of them there. So I've only canceled one of them. So I'm going to keep going there. And I have 1 yard over 3 feet. So I'm just writing that ratio 3 times. And then my feet cancels, and then one more time, 1 yard over 3 feet. And feet cancels with feet. And now I multiply across, and I have 52.4 on top. And now it's not feet, it's yards, and there's 3 of them. So yards times yards times yards is yards cubed. And then 1 times 3 times 3 times 3 on the bottom is 27. And then my very last step is to divide, and that's going to be just a little bit under 2 if you divide that. It's 1.9 yards cubed. Okay, that answered number 1. And then number 2 says, what would be the charge for the mulch? Well, they charge $32 per yard. So we have 1.9 yards cubed. So we would do 32 times 1.9. And then they charge $45 just because, for gas money and delivery fee and paying the driver. So we need to add $45 to whatever we get there. So just 1.9 times 32 plus 45 gives us 105.80. And there you are, $105.80. All right, now I have a little bit of a challenge for you. Let's say that I gave you how many cubic yards were ordered, but now you need to find out how much depth you should have for your mulch. So here's this question. Number 10, if you ordered 10 cubic yards of mulch and you wanted to fill in a rectangular bed 82 feet by 4 feet, how many inches deep would your mulch have to be? Well, now you're given cubic yards, so we need to convert cubic yards, which is yards to the third power, and we're going to convert that to, since this is in feet, we got to convert that to cubic feet. So how do I do that? I'm going to multiply so that I can cancel my yards. So 1 yard equals what? 3 feet. So yards on the bottom, but that's only going to cancel one of those, so I need to do that 3 times. So 3 feet over 1 yard, and then 3 feet over 1 yard. And now I've canceled all 3 of those yards right here. And that's going to give me 10 times 3 times 3 times 3 is just 270 feet cubed over 1, which is just 270 feet cubed. So that's my cubic feet of volume. So that's my volume. Now this is a rectangular bed, so that's a rectangular prism. So what's the volume formula for a rectangular prism? Well, it's V equals length times width times height, because length times width is the area of the base, and then it's times the height of the whole prism. So I'm just going to plug in what I know, and actually I do know my volume. My volume is 270, so I'm going to plug that in for V. I know that this is my length right here, and this is my width, and it doesn't matter if you mix those up. If you call the 4 your length and the 82 your width, either way. So 82 times 4, and then I don't know my height. That's my depth. I don't know that, so that's my variable. So I'm going to call that H. Yeah, I can make it a better H than that. There we go. And now I'm just going to multiply and solve this. So 82 times 4 gives us 328. H equals 270. And then to solve for H, I'm multiplying the inverse is dividing. So I divide by 328 to both sides. And H is going to be about 0.823. And what units am I talking about here? What does this apostrophe here mean? Feet. So that's 0.823 feet is my height. And what did I want my height in? It said the depth, which is the same thing as the height, in inches. So I need to convert this feet into inches. So all I need to do is 0.823 feet into inches. I'm going to do multiplied by, how do I convert feet to inches? Well, geez, 1 foot equals 12 inches. And I write that over 1. Feet cancel, and then 0.823 times 12 gives us about 9.9 inches deep. That's a lot of mulch.